Okay, let's try that one. There we go. Sorry, guys. I had a little bit of technical difficulties with audio there, guys. Whew. Okay, we got it fixed. I was actually worrying about that, guys. I was like, dang, what happened with our audio? But yes, we got it fixed now, guys. How's everybody's New Year's? Let me know that. Mine's doing good. We've done a few things today. Went out and do some shopping and stuff like that. So yeah, it's been pretty fun, guys. It's been pretty fun time right now. So yeah, that's a lot of light. Turn this down. So yeah, it's been really fun. I told Shay Darker you was yes. Thank you, Justice. I appreciate that. Bon Gypsy, how are you doing? Wolverine, how are you doing? Sean, how are you doing? Yes, it's been a heck of a day, guys. Hopefully, you guys had a good New Year's night. I guess I would say it's crazy. 2023, guys, and we finally caught Bryan Kohberger. I have a hard time saying his name, guys, so I probably butchered that. So yes, Shade Darker Justice thinks did not get a notification. Yeah, I don't know, guys. I don't know what's been going on. People's been saying they've been getting unsubscribed too. So lots of crazy things going on, guys. So yeah, how's everybody going? How are you, Jessica? Happy New Year's to you too. So yeah, it's been crazy, guys. I've just been kind of hanging out. Excuse Sam, I'm here. Yeah, I've just been kind of hanging out, doing stuff with family. That's what I've been doing. So other than that, we watched some movies and stuff like that. And I've been watching a lot of YouTube videos and talking to people and stuff like that. Other than that, that's about all I've been doing today. So, but I'm glad everybody is actually doing okay. Bryan, so I actually wanted to talk about Bryan Kohberger tonight, guys. We actually finally caught him. But a lot of people saying that they don't know if he's the killer or not. It's like, what are you talking about? That was because some news stations will actually say that we caught the killer, and then other ones would be like, we're not saying he's the killer yet because he's not been charged. And it's like, then what's the difference, guys? It's really crazy how it's going on. Ashley, how are you going? Happy New Year's to you too. So yeah, it's been really crazy. I don't get notifications anymore either, and that's my bell is on. Huh? Yeah, I don't know why. I'm not sure. Maybe they don't like us or something. It's just my opinion and my theory. Anyways, guys, so Bryan Kohberger, this is a touchy subject, guys. So I done a video earlier about him actually may have been talking to BTK Killer. BTK Killer's daughter actually went forward and gave her thoughts in on the whole situation too. So that's a thought. Who would have known that somebody actually would? Well, and then the person that actually he went to school with, his professor, actually has talked to the BTK Killer herself. And I do believe wrote some books too. So it's crazy. Well, Baker, how are you? Scuba Sam, Jessica, everybody. Anyways, guys, so I'm actually going to drop this link. Anybody come up if they like to. Copy this link down. I'm going to place it in the comments. I have you guys come up and then we will watch the videos and talk about it. I'm not going to be on very long tonight, maybe an hour, hour and a half, and then I'm going to jump off here. So, yes, I just had to do this because it's been eating me up, guys. I've been wanting to talk about this the whole time. So, but the question is, did he do it? That's the whole question, guys. I mean, we can speculate all we want. So anything said in this video is 100% speculations, guys, unless it's from news reporters or whoever else, then that's on them, guys. So, anyway, Scuba Sam, let's add her. How's it going, Scuba?
Happy 23, brother.
Isn't that crazy?
I know, right? I don't like to think of it as just another day. This needs to be a whole nother freaking year. Turn this shit around.
It is crazy.
Yes. Let's be done with it.
It's 100% crazy.
So, did he do it? Yes, he did.
And a lot of people saying that, but then you do have some people say that he did not do it, that they don't think he did it either way.
Well, if anything, he didn't do it by himself then.
Yeah. I got a woman. I actually did a video, sent it out on the one where I said I named it Diary of Killer. So yeah, it shows the guy's Brian Gosser's face completely in there, and a reflection on TV.
Yeah, that one.
And it shows him. It's his voice. And somebody said, "Well, be careful saying what you're going to say because you can get sued." And I'm like, "Well,
It's
I'm not the only. It's all
out
speculations anyway. Yeah. So
right.
I mean,
and they all said that we can speculate on it. So that's what we're doing.
Is it? Does it look like the killer? Yes, it does in that video. I mean,
we're not the only ones that said that.
He knows way too much to not. And I said that whenever I called Dolly Vision show and talked to him right after
the same thing, and so did T-Rev.
Yeah, T-Rev, yeah. And I want to clear it up. T-Rev's not for sure if that was actually the killer that called his channel. So he said that today. So yeah. So people's going on and saying T-Rev actually did have the killer call in. He's not sure. So he's going to go through some of the stuff. So yeah, there you go.
Actually funny that it happened to both you, Dolly and
yeah.
And T-Rev.
I mean, so the video was supposedly handed to Dolly. I got an email on the video too, but this was only like 3 days ago. So I got an email from a lady, the same lady that sent it to Dolly, and she sent it to me. And so yeah, that's how I got the video. But where's the original at? Where's the original at without her voice? You know what I'm saying? Without the woman's voice in it. I want to know where the original is. Just him recording it. So yeah, I can't find it anywhere.
That's another thing. Just like the whole first day this all broke, I didn't trust shit.
Yeah.
There was like 3 different guy names, and I was like, I don't trust nothing till the press conference.
Yeah. What's up, Casey Shooter? How you doing, bro? Jessica says, at Barebones, laugh out loud. You gave me a ranch laugh out loud. Y'all's guts. That's funny. Yeah, never kick anybody or anything like that. So, and it's about Lilith Morningstar. I can't find out how to actually go in there and actually unban her. I never banned her. I don't know. I'm not getting into the subject. I just want it dropped. But yes, I can't figure it out. But I will get it figured out if Lilith is actually watching this. So
I want to say it's in your Google account somewhere. You have to do it.
I'll have to go do it then. Yeah, I'm not sure. So whatever. We'll get that done.
This camera right now.
Justice says, isn't the BTK killer from the 90s? 2005, I do believe he was caught. He was the killer that had a lot of characteristics to Bryan Kohberger, whatever, however you pronounce his name.
Yeah, Kohberger, I think is what it
is. B2K killer would actually stalk his killings inside the house. He'd watch him up to hours. Then he would go out and he'd carry out some gruesome murders, guys. Gruesome. And he didn't care who it was. So yes, very gruesome murders he actually did. So yeah, I do believe he got caught in 2005. He was from Kansas. B2K, yeah, he's 70 years old right now. He's faced, I think it was 176 years in prison.
Sorry, me and this camera are not agreeing today.
So the B2K, the BTK killer killed 10 people. He confessed to 10 people.
Yep.
So yes, we are talking about a killer that is
very old.
Guys, I read about the BTK killer, and he did not care the age nor the sex that he would do anything to.
Yep.
So yeah, we're just gonna put it like that, guys. So and now we have Bryan Kohberger coming forward, and then he put out the thing online about him going and actually studying, asking people from that actually may have done killings, or actually people that as felons that actually may have read about killings, and actually said it was part of his study.
Yeah, he had like some weird questionnaire for him.
A questionnaire.
Yeah,
it's crazy, guys. I couldn't believe it when I heard about it. I was like, "Look, I knew one fact. I knew one thing. I knew the guy was not in Moscato anymore. I knew that he probably was somebody that knew about how to get away with something, and
he definitely hit me up.
Mm-hmm. It's a crazy thing. But anyways, I'm actually going to grab this link one more time and paste it and put it down here, and we're going to move on.
Apparently, we've done something wrong.
So yeah, it's crazy. I like I said, we're gonna watch this and talk about it. And this is actually the news article talking about how he actually, they think he did contact BTK killer. That's what this is. So yeah. But anyways, guys, let's go ahead and jump right into the video.
Tonight, we are tracking a new question. Could the infamous serial killer known as BTK have influenced the accused murderer in the Idaho stabbings? News Nation is learning that quadruple homicide suspect Bryan Kohberger studied under the same professor and criminology expert that literally wrote the book on BTK, his biography. News Nation senior correspondent Bryan Enton live for us tonight. Bryan, you spoke directly with BTK's daughter about any possible connection.
Yeah, she said she has literally been sick to her stomach ever since she found out that there could possibly be a connection here. She's been following the situation in Idaho very closely. And now there is this chilling connection between BTK and Bryan Kohberger. Basically, Bryan Kohberger's professor at DeSales University here in Pennsylvania, when he was studying criminology, wrote the book, you mentioned it, on BTK, actually wrote BTK's autobiography and interviewed him extensively to write this book, and then taught a class that we believe Kohberger took on serial killers that was heavily focused on BTK. So was he perhaps inspired by BTK? We don't know the answer to that yet, but certainly that is something that the FBI is going to be looking into. BTK's daughter spoke to me also just about what it was like having a psychopath father, and the way that these killers are able to act one way around their family and seem so normal, but have this devious side to them. Listen to part of our conversation.
After being raised by a psychopath, I do know that they can hide very easily, that they can put on several masks and basically change how they're interacting with you, mimic you. Basically, a lot of times they're saying to you what they think you want to hear. So I would assume Kohberger held himself in a certain way in a professional educational setting. I'm kind of shocked how far he's made it into the criminology fields, but it's happened before. My father has a criminal justice degree. D'Angelo, Golden State Killer, he has one. Bundy, wow. I believe, studied criminal law. So it happens. I mean, you can be an expert on.
So it's almost like all these people that study this stuff actually went into it for a reason, because they knew what they was going to do.
It's like he was a mix between both of him and Bundy. Like he studied both of them.
Yeah, so the BTK killer was more the type to have a mask on, go in someone's closet, stay in there, stare at them, stalk them, come out with a mask, come out with a doll in his hand, and sit there and torture them and watch gruesome stuff go down while the family watched as well. That's what the BTK killer did. BTK killer did. And then afterwards, he would usually leave a doll with something in it or on it as his trademark kill, so be it, I guess is what you'd call it. Yeah. So, but if you look at it, we have Bryan Kohberger is basically doing the same thing. We don't know if the guy was actually in that house of the 4 Moscow, Idaho students that was brutally stabbed. He could have been inside waiting on them to come home, stalking them just like the BTK. See the resemblance going on here. I mean, there's a lot of resemblance going on. And it's funny that everybody came forward and said that, did he talk to BTK killer? I think because of the resemblance going on, they found maybe, or they heard about. It's just crazy that somebody would be criminology, sociology, have all that background, and then carry on thinking he can get away with it, quote unquote. And then 49, 50 days later, he gets caught.
It's almost like so it's either like there is 2 of them and they're a team, or there's only one of them And okay, so where was I going with this? Like, there's one of them, and like he's got a split personality. Do you see where I'm going with this?
Yeah, yeah. Well,
it's like he like stalked them for a while, and then like because it's like two different styles of killing. Do you see what I mean?
Well, what I'm not understanding, guys, is so they go further on the video I just did earlier, talk about he may have actually, now these are just speculations, but this is actually coming from news crews, guys, that he may have actually had a biohazard suit on as he's committed the murders, bagged up all the stuff, bagged off his gloves, his booties around his feet, and then went as far as taking a shower at the house. But why would he take a shower at the house whenever there's two survivors downstairs? So again, these are all just speculations. So, but that is actually said by Fox, the video I just did. I think, do believe it was Fox News, I think. So yeah.
I've seen weirder things happen. But if they said they didn't hear anything, what if they didn't hear somebody else showering in the house?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's true. I mean, how else would he have got out of the house with absolutely no blood nowhere?
He
guys,
had to have had a suit.
Yes, so you brutally stab 4 people, and you walk out with absolutely nothing leading your trail. That's just he knew what he was doing. He knew it. He talked to somebody. He got information from these people. He took his background, and then he went and actually committed, well, a mass murder.
Yep.
That's what he did. So, but I mean, it's just crazy because I don't think you look at this guy and you're like 4 people. So he killed 4 people at one time. It just seems unrealistic with a knife. But the guy in the video went as far as saying that the guy grabbed the other girl, yanked her back. See, that guy knows too much in that video.
Yeah.
He knows way too much. He knows stuff that the police doesn't even know yet.
Well, and they may never know that she was yanked back because she can't speak.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, it is 100% crazy. All right, let's continue with the video.
Psychopaths, and they're still going to trick you. And honestly, somebody like Kohberger probably found that thrilling.
That's disgusting.
And Dr. Catherine Ramsland, the expert that she's talking about there, who was the professor of Bryan Kohberger and also wrote the book on BTK, really one of the preeminent experts on serial killers. And what's just so chilling, Natasha, is to think about that she was teaching Kohberger, and that this all has now played out the way it has. We've tried to talk to her. Basically, she is saying right now that she is not doing any media interviews on Kohberger. You would assume that she will likely be some kind of witness if and when this all finally goes to trial, Natasha.
Yeah, his entire course of study, making this particularly interesting and chilling, I think is the right word. Bryan Enton live for us this evening. Thank you so much. Thank you for watching.
All right, guys. That is crazy. I'm not sure how to really... So your whole point of going to college is to just waste your whole life. Everything gone.
Yeah.
I mean, he's 28 years old. But then again, guys, depression, mental health can be hidden and can be taken out in the same heuristics as what happened with the 4 students in Moscow, Idaho, guys. That tells me that it was probably rage is what he did it under. Rage, curiosity, talking to these killers, getting information from killers, convicted felons that may actually be in for, homicide or whatever else it may be, guys. His head was big. He left no trace. Cops didn't have no DNA, no knife, no gloves, no shoe. They said they had a shoe print, a detective did, but I don't know where that went. That was actually in a video. But the cops knew more than what they were saying because we knew they did. And everybody was like, even me, myself was like, man, hopefully they actually do this and it doesn't turn to a cold case. The same day that the cleaners were supposed to be over at the house to clean up 1122 over to Moscow, Idaho, where the 4 students was brutally stabbed. The cleaners was there the same day that Bryan Kohberger got arrested. So yeah, it's pretty
Did you
crazy.
They stop the cleaning?
What now?
They stopped the cleaning.
No, they went ahead and went on with the cleaning. Yeah, they went ahead and went on with cleaning.
No,
That's
they
the reason
didn't. They stopped it. They had a court order to stop it.
Did they? Oh,
Mhm.
okay. Well,
They don't know if it was from the defendant's side or if it was from they don't know which side got the court order, but that was stopped.
wow.
They unloaded
That's crazy.
everything, and then all of a sudden they just packed it all up and went. There was a court order that stopped it.
I wonder what that court order was. I have to check into that. See if I
Yeah,
can see.
I don't know who's covering that part,
Huh.
but I know Bullhorn Betty and Olivia were talking about it.
Yeah.
I know a lot of
Chronicles
people don't know Bullhorn Betty,
Chronicles of Olivia is one of my favorites anyway.
but absolutely.
So, but anyways, guys, let's go ahead and look at another video. Let's go see if we can find one here. Where's that? Live. Let's go to Idaho. Killings update live. See if they have any live updates. Let's go and watch this one.
We're finding out a lot more about Bryan Kohberger tonight from his WSU department and fellow students. The Department of Criminal Justice and Criminology released a new statement today on Kohberger and his arrest.
And students who knew Kohberger are sharing more details about his time on campus. Fox 13's Jeffrey Dowling has a look at the latest information and just what Kohberger was doing.
Thanks, baby girl.
Leading up to this arrest.
Investigators have now cleared the apartment where Bryan Kohberger lived, and students here on campus are now asking why he's accused in these murders.
I shocked like the whole day yesterday.
Graduate student Gaurav Narang is trying to think back to conversations he'd had with his neighbor Bryan Kohberger to see if anything stands out. Narang didn't want to appear fully on camera, but told us the two exchanged texts and talked occasionally on the stairs near Bryan's second-floor apartment.
He was very talkative and friendly person.
Narang says Kohberger was passionate about criminology studies and his PhD.
He would talk about he wants to know why people commit crime, why, what is the key reason behind crimes, and how people think while committing them.
When Narang heard police were looking for a white Elantra weeks ago, he didn't think much about it.
I knew that he drove a white Elantra, but I didn't know that cops are looking for an Elantra. We wouldn't know that, okay, Bryan could be the guy. Because his personality does not match whatever the incident happened.
I think WSU is a very peaceful university and communities, and I never thought this happened.
This graduate student lives across from Kohberger at the apartment complex. She didn't know him, but wants to know why.
I also feel very sad for our students because, I mean, this is really out of my imagination.
The Latah County prosecutor said after Bryan is extradited to Idaho, more details could be released on what led them to believe he was connected to the murders. First, he'll be scheduled for hearings in Pennsylvania. Meantime, early Saturday, police continued to secure the home where the students were killed. Also, a new statement was released from WSU saying the Department of Criminal Justice and Criminology at Washington State University is aggrieved by the alleged horrendous acts of one of its graduate students. We are relieved that justice will be carried out. Our hearts are with the victims' families.
He had told me around first week of December, I think I met him last. He had told me that he's going to visit his home.
Narang knew Bryan was going back to Pennsylvania for the holidays.
Not a hint of stress on his face or something.
Before he left, he says he showed no sign of involvement.
There is nothing suspicious after the Moscow incident, which could point, okay, this could be the guy.
And see, I mean, some people's like the guy was so nice that he can't be the guy. He can't be the guy.
And those are the ones you got to watch out for.
So, yeah. So, I don't get it, guys, because just because somebody is nice, that's the reason why everybody should be approached with the precaution. And if you have neighbors, run a background check on these people. But then again, this guy's DNA probably is not even in the system. Just saying. It's probably not. I mean, he has criminal justice degree. He has sociology degree. He has master's. So, and he was trying to hide this whole other thing, asking these criminals and murderers questions with his schooling. That's what he was trying to do. So he was using it in a way that is very smart.
I don't know if it's true or not, but I also heard allegedly somewhere that when he got arrested, he said, "Am I the only one that's been arrested?" Now, I don't know whether it's to throw anybody else off or not, but leave that where it lie.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't. It's just crazy. Like I said, whenever I heard this, I was like, thank God we finally got somebody. And then people's like, well, he's not going to be charged. I'm like, what do you mean he's not going to be charged? So, guys, there's a lot of stuff going on about this guy being charged, not being charged. Is he the killer? Is he not the killer? I mean, he's in a hurry to get back to Idaho as well. So, yeah.
Even if he's not the killer, he knows something.
He does know something. I mean, then again, guys, I'm like I said, this is all speculations, but
right.
I do believe he is the killer. That's just my opinion. Natasha said, Barebones, they found matching blood and DNA. Okay, so that's 100% facts.
Thank you very much.
I'm guessing. So, yeah. So, I know some people actually, like I said, some news crews said that he was actually guilty, and some of them said he wasn't. Some of them said he was already arrested. Some of them said he wasn't arrested. Some of them say he's innocent until proven guilty. But if you're arrested for the 4 murders and it's already bordered, on the channel, then.
And the district attorney of Idaho has already brought down those charges.
Really?
Well, in the press conference, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. In the press conference, 100%. Yes. Jessica says he is the killer. Yeah. I believe he's the killer too, guys. 100%. Mm-hmm. I really believe he's the killer. He wants to trial this. Studied for 4 years. Yes, baby girl. I do. Guys, who does this guy look like? To you, who does this guy look like? And he's a killer too.
Yeah, he just looks real smug to me, to be honest.
Yeah. Honestly, this guy kind of resembles the BTK killer in a lot of ways. Their backgrounds.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, I'm gonna do a video that actually shows the characteristics of the BTK and this guy. They're too much alike. They're too much alike. And a lot of killers will actually study people they want to be as that killer or they look up to. That goes on to my next question, Scuba.
Yes.
We have all these people, all these killers getting movie star publicity.
He could never.
And it's crazy because Ellen says he interviewed BTK. Okay, see, yeah, that's what I was thinking too. I know there was a video about that. I did a video earlier about that kind of. So yes, he interviewed BTK. So there you go.
Mm-mm. Nope.
So honestly, I don't think they should be talking to anybody. The killers inside prison.
No.
Should not be allowed to speak to anybody. Except news media or something. That's it.
Well, and I don't think that all these killers should get like deals and stuff for like their stories.
Yeah, I don't either.
Notoriety.
Yeah.
Of any sort.
I don't either.
Things.
I believe it should be 100%. They're in there for a reason. And they shouldn't be able to get fan mail, anything. Mm-hmm. And it's called fan mail. Why are they getting fan mail if they're convicted murderers, serial killers?
Right.
Baby girl says the BTK creeps me out. Yes, the BTK was a very creepy killer, guys. If you guys have not seen the BTK, look him up and just look at some pictures. 100% terrifying. So yes. Anyways, guys, Crisis Cast, how are you doing? Let's go ahead and go watch another. Let's go look for another video. They're everywhere. I know that. How about the press conference? How long is that one?
I don't think it wasn't too awful long.
Let's look at the press conference.
They really didn't speak on much.
Let's go ahead and.
Thank you for coming today. Last night, in conjunction with the Pennsylvania State Police, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, detectives arrested 28-year-old Bryan Christopher Kohberger in Albrightsville, Pennsylvania, on a warrant for murders of Ethan, Zana, Madison, and Kaylee. I want to personally thank these agencies for their assistance in this case. Kohberger resides in Pullman, Washington, and is a graduate student at Washington State University. We will provide as much information as we can about the extradition to Idaho and the criminal process. However, due to Idaho state law, we are limited in what information we can release today until Kohberger has his initial appearance in Idaho court. I want to express my appreciation to our local community, the people of Idaho, and those throughout our nation who provided information to help us investigate these murders has been very impressive. We've received over 19,000 tips, and we've conducted over 300 interviews. Wow. To recap this case, on the evening of November 12th, Kaylee and Madison arrived home at about 1:56 a.m. after visiting a local bar and street food vendor. Ethan and Zana were at the Sigma Chi house before arriving home around 1:45 a.m. The two surviving roommates had also been in the community but returned around 1 a.m. On the morning of November 13th, a 911 call was made at 11:58 a.m. reporting an unconscious person at the residence. The call came from inside the home from one of the surviving roommates' cell phones. Moscow police responded and found 2 victims on the 2nd floor and 2 victims on the 3rd floor. On November 17th, autopsies were conducted and the Latah County coroner confirmed the identity of the 4 victims. The cause and manner of death was homicide by stabbing. Some had defensive wounds, and each had been stabbed multiple times. These murders have shaken our community, and no arrest will ever bring back these young students. However, we do believe justice will be found through the criminal process. This was a very complex and extensive case. We developed a clear picture over time, and we stand assured that the work is not done, but be assured the work is not done. This has just started. Since November, we have remained laser focused on pursuing every lead in our pursuit of justice for the victims and their families. I recognize the frustration with the lack of information that's been released. However, providing any details in this criminal investigation might have tainted the upcoming criminal prosecution or alerted the suspect of our progress. We will continue to provide as much information as we can as the process moves forward. Today, I want to specifically thank our dedicated Moscow Police Department detectives, patrol officers, the Idaho State detectives, the Idaho State troopers, and their crime lab technicians and scientists, and the Federal Bureau of Investigation for the resources and personnel to conduct this massive investigation. It was the dedication of them and the persistence and the numerous hours that led to an arrest. Fortunately, these highly skilled people worked together as a cohesive team to solve this case. I also want to thank our community and the nation. Over the past 6 weeks, I've been continually reminded of how much our community cares. Locally, public support has been exceptional with kind words, food for investigators, and letters of support. You will never know how much your words of encouragement help us through these trying times. I appreciate each of you and each of your kindness. Agencies and individuals from across the nation have reached out to us to express their support to this department. I'm reminded how our Moscow community, our families, and the nation has been impacted by this daily. Finally, I do want to thank our media partners for the help. You kept this in the news. You helped us with tips. You kept things going, and we truly appreciate that. And you are the product of those 19,000 tips that we received, which is an impressive number.
Wow.
I would like to invite Bill Thompson, the county prosecutor, up at this time.
Good afternoon, folks. My name is Bill Thompson. I'm the Latah County prosecutor. And it's sad to be here, but happy to be here at the same time. As Chief Fry indicated, a criminal complaint was filed yesterday here in Latah County, charging the defendant, Mr. Kohberger, with 4 counts of first-degree murder, in addition to felony burglary, which involves entering the residence with the intent to commit the crime of murder. Mr. Kohberger, and let me preface, there is a pending case now in court, and I and my office and the investigators have to live with the restrictions that our Supreme Court places on pretrial publicity. That said, I promise you we will share with you through the court process or otherwise whatever we are allowed to. I just appreciate your patience on that. The factual basis for the charges are summarized in what's called a probable cause affidavit.
So he said charged.
Mm-hmm.
Is being charged.
Yep.
With what he's being charged for. So he's already been charged for the killings.
The 4 homicides.
That's what I'm getting out of this whole thing.
Yes. And he's about to tell you what's factually about to be let out at this time, pretty much.
Because there's so many people saying that he's not been charged yet.
Yes.
So this is a reason why I wanted to actually do a live, because I heard so much stuff that he was not charged, that he's not even the killer.
Dude, that whole first day, there was like 3 different people. Like, I was like, I'm not going to listen to nothing until I hear this press conference.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And ever since then, it's been this, it's been that, there's 3 different people besides him. I'm like, no, we're not doing this. We're going to wait for facts.
Yeah. It's crazy. All right, let's go ahead and go on the video.
Affidavit that is on file with the court. According to the rules of the Idaho Supreme Court, that is sealed until Mr. Kohberger is physically back in Latah County and has been served with the Idaho arrest warrant. At that time, we expect that affidavit will be available to you so you can share the true facts with all of your readers and your watchers and your listeners and all the people who are interested and really need to know what's going on. So please have patience with us on that. We hope to get that to you as soon as we can. As far as Mr. Kohberger, I can share with you that he is a graduate student at Washington State University and has an apartment residence over at Pullman. He has had an initial appearance in front of a judge in Pennsylvania. He is being held without bond. And the warrant from our magistrate judge here also provides for no bond. We understand that he's scheduled to be back in court in Pennsylvania next Tuesday afternoon, and that a public defender has been appointed for him there. The process at this point is, since he was arrested in another state, he has the opportunity to either waive extradition and return voluntarily to the state of Idaho, or if he prefers not to waive extradition, then we will initiate extradition proceedings through our governor's office. If we do that, it can take a while for him to get here. So again, I'm asking for your patience and understand that's just the way the system works. Once he gets here, he'll have an initial appearance with our magistrate. They'll deal with issues such as making sure competent counsel is representing him, and the case will be scheduled for further hearings. Your primary source of factual information is going to be the court record, because that's what the Supreme Court says we need to refer you to. So please pay attention to what's going on in court and have people there to watch and hear what's being said. As an attorney, myself, my office, we are limited on what we are allowed by the courts to say outside of the courtroom. So please just work with us. Finally, as the chief indicated, this is not the end of this investigation. In fact, this is a new beginning. You all now know the name of the person who has been charged with these offenses. Please get that information out there. Please ask the public, anyone who knows about this individual, to come forward. Call the tip line. Report anything you know about him to help the investigators and eventually our office and the court system understand fully everything there is to know about not only the individual, but what happened and why. Next, I'll introduce Colonel Ked Wells from the Idaho State Police. Thank you.
Well, good afternoon. My name is Kedrick Wills. I serve as the director of the Idaho State Police and certainly want to express our appreciation for your attendance here today. These tragic murders took 4 young, vibrant lives from our community. Nothing we do can bring them back. The only thing that we can do in law enforcement to honor their memories that we know of is to bring this to a successful conclusion. This has been a very difficult time for the families, the university, the community, and the state of Idaho. However, it is also proven that communities come together in tough times. Certainly appreciate the support of the local community and our national audience that has been following us as our investigators have worked through this case. I'm thankful also to you, the media partners, who have helped keep this case in the forefront that generates the tips and we hope will continue to generate information that will help us to a conclusion of this proceeding. I'd like to express our appreciation on behalf of the Idaho State Police to Chief Fry, his leadership, and the entire Moscow Police Department for the way that they handled this from the very beginning. He directed the right people to the right positions that led us to this conclusion today. I've had the utmost confidence in this investigation and in Chief Fry, as well as in Mr. Bill Thompson and the Latah County Prosecutor's Office, who've been a great partner throughout this. Nothing has deterred the commitment of the investigators who've worked on this case, regardless of the organization they represent. It's been very trying and very difficult, as you know, that it has been on those investigators as they do the tedious work that they're so good at doing. The partnerships is what's led here as well. The partnerships between Moscow Police Department, I'd like to express our appreciation with the Federal Bureau of Investigation, specifically the special agent in charge out of the Salt Lake City Division, Dennis Rice, and also the work that happened in the last 24 hours in Pennsylvania with the arrest with the Pennsylvania State Police and Colonel Evanchik with the Pennsylvania State Police. We appreciate what they've done across the nation to help us as well. As Bill shared, this investigation is far from over. In fact, I appreciate what he shared, that this is not an ending, but rather a new beginning. The difference now is, as he shared, that we are dictated what information we can share by the court process and by laws in our state of Idaho. And so we will share, as he shared, Mr. Thompson is absolutely committed to share everything he can share through the court process. We've got to make sure that we don't get in front of that process. And we really deeply appreciate everybody's support here. The relationships that were forged here and the partnerships that were forged have led to this. And based on that is why we're here today. And we continue to believe that the best way we can honor these 4 lives that have been taken is to make sure that we have a successful outcome here. One of the partnerships that's been forged throughout this is a partnership with the University of Idaho. And on that, I'd like to introduce the president of the University of Idaho, Mr.
So, death penalty, Idaho. They actually have that in Idaho.
Yeah, they reinstated it back in 73 or 74.
They said it's been a long time since it's been used, though.
Oh, they're going to use it if they can. I bet.
If he is charged, if he is charged with 4 murders, see, that's where everything comes in weird at, because I
do have an opinion on why they probably will use it, though.
Why is that?
Because this is probably the most brutal thing that's happened in Idaho in a very long time.
Well, I mean, this is actually what it's supposed to be used for, is stuff like this.
Yeah.
In my opinion, that's what it should be used for, is people, mass murderers, that basically is not safe for this world ever again. I mean, that's the reason why they put in the death penalty.
And we don't even know the details of exactly how it went down and what exactly happened.
Exactly.
So wait till that comes out. And then it's just going to,
yeah,
that's not even, Yeah, that's not even tipping the surface.
Yeah, it's literally caught my mind ever since the first, and I've done videos about it, and I continue to watch videos to hear things about it, to try to actually, debunk what's real and what's not real, because like I said, there's so much stuff going on, and them saying that he hasn't been charged and he's been charged. But we just heard this guy go on to say that he actually has been charged with the cases that they could talk about.
Mm-hmm.
And whenever he gets back to Idaho, I do believe Ellen said that he will be charged with the rest of what has happened. I do believe that's what Ellen said. Anyways, guys, let's go ahead and let's go on back to the video.
Scott Green. Thank you. Good afternoon. Scott Green, President, University of Idaho. Today's news of arrest is a welcome one. It's relief to our university, our community, and our extended Vandal family. The outpouring of support over the past 6 weeks helped sustain us during the most trying time. It provided the strength that helped us navigate the international scrutiny visited on our students and employees. We are truly thankful for the compassion and acts of kindness shown to our community. Kindness is contagious, and it provided the light that reclaimed ground lost to evil and darkness. We first want to acknowledge and thank Governor Little for the early promise of financial support that enabled the university to secure our campus and focus on helping our students and our employees in the wake of the crimes. We also appreciate the Idaho State Police and the highly visible security presence that brought comfort and calm to a community shocked and confused by the senseless crimes. We never lost faith that this case would be solved and are grateful for the hard work of the Moscow Police Department and their law enforcement partners. Vast and committed FBI resources brought important expertise to this complex case. Across the board, dedicated, highly competent personnel worked this case to arrest. This crime has nevertheless left a mark on our university, our community, and our state. While we cannot bring back Maddie, Kaylee, Zaina, and Ethan, we can thoughtfully and purposefully carry their legacy forward in the work that we do. Our students.
Shay Darker, have a good night, bro. I'll be with you tomorrow on the green screen as well, Shay Darker.
Come first, and that was proven each and every day of this investigation. We are committed to safely delivering the college town atmosphere, campus experience, and high-touch quality education for which the University of Idaho is known. With time, we will heal. We will move forward together, and we will remain Vandal strong. With that, I'd like to turn it back over to Chief Fry.
What's up, Ghost? How's it going, bro?
So now we will open the floor to questions. However, I want to remind everyone, as Prosecutor Bill Thompson explained, any factual information regarding the arrest of Kohberger is currently sealed per Idaho law and will not be released until he has appeared in an Idaho court. Please formulate your questions accordingly. I recognize there are a lot of questions, and I will try to answer as many of them as I can.
So what did he say right there? Let's go back on that a little bit.
Yeah, I'm confused.
So now we will open the floor to questions. However, I want to remind everyone, as Prosecutor Bill Thompson explained, any factual information regarding the arrest of Kohberger is currently sealed per Idaho law and will not be released until he has appeared in an Idaho court.
So they're not talking no more about it until he returns back to Idaho.
I could have swore the other guy just said that he was going to say what he could, though.
Yeah, I don't know. So you see how crazy this is? And Father-Son Reactions, how are you doing? Yeah, Father-Son Reaction says this case has been insane. It has been insane because you hear so much stuff about them being guilty, him being guilty, not guilty. He hasn't been charged. Then you have news stations saying that he's already been charged, but then he can't be talked about until he gets back to Idaho. But Bryan, what's his name?
Kohberger.
Kohberger goes on and he's ready to get back to Idaho. He's really weird how this whole thing's turning out. And people goes on to say that he didn't even do this, that this was actually that he faked being the murderer.
What?
It's crazy. I've actually heard that too, guys. And now these are all speculations, but this is out there in this world that he is actually went forward to actually act like the murderer, but they're saying, why did he do that for? So I don't believe that theory, guys. I believe 100% that he is the killer. That's my opinion. That's my speculations, guys. Again, anything in this video is speculations besides what you're hearing on video, guys.
I've also heard they got some kind of genealogy evidence. So
yeah,
or they're looking for some kind of genealogy, or they had some kind of DNA or something.
Yeah.
So
it's crazy. Baby girl, how you doing? Ellen, exactly. Stuart James, how are you doing? It's been more crazier. It's insane. It's very insane, guys. And actually, where's Father Son Reaction? I seen you had FJ Outlaw on your channel. Good job on that, man. Actually, he's supposed to be on here. I haven't, to get a hold of him, but yes, he seems like a very down to earth dude. So congratulations on that, Father Son Reaction. Ellen is faked, and that's new insanity. Something. Good God, the father and son welcome. He's a narcissist either way, very much so. I mean, look at the guy. He went to college. He has masters.
Yeah.
He put out stuff for him to actually study killers for them to get a hold of him, and he went on that way. He actually went on to talk to the BTK killer. The styles of killings is exactly the same. If he actually went in this house and was inside this house, talking about Bryan Kohberger, there's no difference between him and the BTK killer, because the BTK killer actually stood in their houses, was in their houses, stalked them with masks on. And I'm not going to go any further with that, guys. I already talked about the BTK killer, and he's actually disgusting.
Yes.
So, yes. And he goes on to he actually had the BTK killer's daughter talking about the whole situation about Bryan Kohberger going on and talking to her father. So, yeah.
I feel so bad for serial killers' children.
Well, I mean, she goes on to say that he's filthy and everything else. So, yeah. I mean, it's disgusting, guys. I mean, we really have to. You don't know who you meet in this world, guys. You just don't. That's the reason why I'm not ashamed of saying that if I have someone living next to me, I'm going to run a check on them, find out the name, run a check on them, because that way I'm actually protecting my family too.
Absolutely.
I mean, who knows? The next door neighbor could be the next BTK killer or the next. And then I read in the comments earlier, they're calling Bryan Kohberger the Idaho Butcher.
Oh, we don't give him a nickname. He ain't no.
But that's what who said that? I do believe it was very good source who actually said that as well. So he's probably already got one as the Idaho Butcher. Yes, it is insane. I mean, guys, they actually put him up against the bunny style killing already. So it's like, so now he talks to BTK, put up against the bunny style killing for, they thought that he watched the girls from the bushes. And it's never said whether he was actually at this house for a party neither. It's just so weird how all happened, guys. What did he study? 10 miles away?
It was
something like that?
Well, it was like 15 miles away.
Yeah.
10, 15.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't believe serial killers should be put up against movie stars and stardom and fan mail. I've already discussed this.
They should get no notoriety.
Because now we have BTK, we have the clown killer, whoever that was, John Wayne Gacy. Yeah. We have I can go on forever. I mean, and all of them, most of them has background in criminology and sociology.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy. Anyways, guys, let's continue with the video.
Please formulate your questions accordingly. I recognize there are a lot of questions, and I will try to answer as many of them as I can.
Is there an evergreen or Argonaut recorder?
Lauren Patterson, Northwest Public Broadcasting, Spokane Public Radio. I realize the records are sealed. I guess I'm not too familiar with how it works, but can you tell us what tip What piece of evidence really led you all the way from Idaho to the suspect in Pennsylvania?
As I've said in the past, that's part of our investigation, and we won't be releasing that this time.
Okay, so Natasha went on to say that it was the teacher who interviewed the man. The BTK, it was said that actually Bryan Kohberger actually talked to the BTK killer himself. So that was actually in my interview. That was actually in my video earlier that I made of the news station saying that they think he may have talked to him. So yeah. Hey Jamie, how you going? How you doing, girl?
Hello,
so yeah, that
Jamie.
was actually said. So all right, let's continue with the video.
We will have those answers. We'll have them as soon as we can make those available to you.
Then a quick follow-up and a two-parter. Is our community safe, or is law enforcement still on the search for other suspects who might be involved in this attack?
What I can tell you is we have an individual in custody who committed these horrible crimes, and I do believe our community is safe, but we still need to be vigilant, right? We still have talked about this in the past. We always need to be aware of our surroundings and make sure that we're aware of what's going on.
Oh yeah, Natasha, for sure. I think he studied these girls. This isn't somebody that just decided just to go and find a house to murder people. This is somebody who actually studied them, who watched them, who probably even filmed them at some point in time and studied their movements. This is actually a work of mass murder. And it's sad.
What if this was clearly a stalker?
That's what people are saying too, asking that question. See, I'll be glad when they get back to Idaho where they can share everything they need to share and it'd be out in the open.
Yup. And it just so happened that he ended up having to kill all of them because he didn't realize all of them were there.
Yep. That's 100% because, but
maybe it was the other ones because Kaylee wasn't even supposed to be there. Was she?
I don't think I don't think she was. I think they just so happened they stayed. She stayed there.
She was just there for a formal and ended up just spending the night.
Yeah.
But he was stalking somebody or doing something weirdly.
But I mean, didn't which one actually came to visit? I think it was Kaylee who came to visit.
Yeah.
And then that's the same night that it actually took place. So I wonder if this
come for his conference.
What now?
Somebody said they came for his conference or they did some kind of conference, like his conference.
Yeah. What did Ellen say?
Maybe that was misinformation.
It said he was followed the 3 girls on Instagram. He did follow 3 girls on Instagram. And there is definitely like 12 different accounts with his face on it. Yeah. It's crazy, guys. So yes, I think it was a target. I think he had a target. It actually went on to speculate that he went on to kill one person and he went in the room and there was 2 people. And then he went into other rooms as he was leaving and just killed all 4 other people.
I feel like he ran into Ethan because either wasn't supposed to be there either.
Yeah. So I mean, I hope he gets the rest. I hope he never sees the light of day again, for sure, guys. Natasha Taps, hello, Happy New Year, Happy New Year's, Jamie, and Happy New Year's to everyone as well. Hi, hello. How was New Year's, Jamie? Kaylee's dad said there was a connection, but he's not ready to say it. Okay. So there we go, guys. And again, guys, everything we're talking about in my chat or me, myself, or Scuba Sam is nothing but speculations, guys. Yeah. So don't take any of it and run away with it. And, just go double check yourself. Okay. Anyways, so Sean, I think Idaho does death penalty. Idaho does do the death penalty, but they have not used it in a long time. And I went on to hear another thing, guys, that they won't use it because of the stuff ain't up to date.
Right.
So whether that may be the case, the reason why they don't use it again, or they have not been using it, may be a factor, guys. Again, these are all speculations. So Father Son Reacts says, sorry, y'all, I chat. I'm at work, so can't say much. Everyone, this is, guys, a psycho is my opinion. 100% Father Son Reacts. He is a psycho. Well, he's a he's a mass murderer. I mean, if he would kill one more person, he would have been a serial killer.
We read you loud and clear, Bubba Dale.
So yeah, crazy. Okay, thanks. You tried. So yeah, what baby girl say here? And someone said the nose of fed up because Ethan knows they have DNA, but they can't. They came from YouTube. Okay. So it's all speculations as far as we go on here, guys. Yeah. I feel that Bryan is messing with people. It's hard to say, guys. It's hard to say. This is crazy. This is in Idaho, not Ohio. Yeah, Moscow, yeah. Idaho. Yeah, but we can't do anything until he gets back to Idaho, Moscow, right. Idaho. I'm not sure he was talking about baby girl. Sometimes I slip up and I say something different, so maybe I did. Far Sun Reacts, Ghost says, "What's up, bro?" But both states have death penalties. Yes, 100%. Mm-hmm. It's my opinion. I hope Idaho killer gets electric chair. I'm not sure what kind of death penalty you actually have in Idaho. Or yeah, Idaho. Now you got me messed up. So, yes, speculations. What is up, Teresa? How's it going? So yeah, it's crazy. 100% crazy. Car DNA history hitting a woman in bars. I think they have the right guy. I do believe too. I believe 100% this is probably look at the dude's eyes. I made it mine in my video again tonight. I stress about his eyes, guys. Look, whenever you see somebody who is blank stared like that, them eyes, he's arrested. He's being charged with 4 counts of murder. And he acts like there's nothing. He acts like there's no remorse in those eyes at all.
I don't know what it is with the blank stare and the eyes set, but like too close to each other. That's a killer.
Yeah. Natasha Tapp says they were searching his room and apartment. Sean Hunter said, "Baby girl, I was answering Justice Queen. I took a figure squad 70s. Too bad though. I took a firing squad away in 70s though. Blank stare, his eyes. Yes. Yeah. His eyes are just creepy. Eyes are just creepy, guys. Anyways, guys, let's go ahead and go on the video.
Hi, Chief. How soon into the investigation did police and law enforcement begin to spot Mr. Kohberger as a potential suspect? And a follow-up, how many tips, if you can say, were specifically related to Mr. Kohberger?
To the tip part, honestly, I can't answer that question, so I'm not even going to speculate on that. On the other part, that's part of our investigation, and it will come out. I'd like the mic to please come right over here.
I figured they wouldn't.
Thank you. Dana Griffin with NBC News. Can you confirm that Kohberger asked whether or not anyone else had been arrested when he was in custody?
I cannot confirm that, or I'm not sure of that information, but that would still be a part of our investigation.
Did CODIS initially?
He started to say, "I cannot confirm that," or abbreviate on that, or something. Something that started coming out of his mouth at that point. I believe there's 2 people involved in this, guys. I may be wrong. I may be totally wrong, guys. I may be totally wrong. And I believe that that blood on the upstairs third part of the balcony, I believe that was blood there in that video as well.
I've always thought there was a woman involved, and I don't know why.
I just want to know what it was about, whether it was a hate crime, what was it for? I mean, because, she did say that she had a stalker, and she even told her professors this. So is this the stalker? He did follow him.
Right. Obviously.
And he did have like 12 different accounts with different, his same face. Just different names.
Yeah.
I don't know. But the computer they got, they will actually find what they need to find in that computer. Even if that computer's been wiped, there's things called footprints, fingerprints inside of a computer, ways of actually tying into a site to tie into that site. It's basically a footprint, guys. So yes, FBI will get what they want off that computer, whether it's on there or not.
They might not find a murder weapon, but they might find a virtual murder weapon.
They will find something on that computer. Something on that computer will tie everything back.
Yep.
I think that's where they're going to come in and say, hey, even if we don't got DNA, there's too much stuff pointing to this case.
Yep.
And I think it's going to be found on that computer, guys, for something to be done. His eyes are pitch black. Yes, they are, actually. Martin's daddy says, where can I find a winner at? Where can I find? Good God almighty. Anyways, I'm not commenting on that in the stream, guys. I am not getting that started. I actually started to do a video, a live about somebody, and I want to do a true crime live. Anyways, let's go ahead and get back to the video.
Return any hits on this guy?
That's still part of our investigation. That will come out. If we could get somebody over here, please.
And then one final question. Is there any message to the online sleuths who slandered and harassed people who they believed were responsible?
There was a lot of speculation going on, and we've always said from the very beginning that we're the official message that comes out, and to pay attention to what we're putting out there to the press.
Guys, and I can honestly say on our channel here, we did not say anybody was the killer at all. This is the first time I have actually said I do believe 100% that we have the killer, which is Bryan
Kohberger.
So yeah, we never said 100%. Hey, this guy was the killer or nothing, guys. Some other channels out there running away with it to make money off of it and naming it stuff like, is this the killer? What about Jack? You see what I'm saying? I mean, everybody was doing that, but nobody was pointing fingers at anybody on this channel. Nobody. Nope. So anyways, guys, let's jump right to the video.
I'm Nancy Liu with News Nation, and we were over at the house this morning, and you told us that the remediation would begin today. It was suddenly stopped. Can you tell us why?
Yes. The house cleanup has been halted, and that came by a legal request from the court.
Christina Corbin, Fox News. Chief, have you identified?
So what did he just say there? What did he say there? Let's go back.
Oh, go ahead.
Can you tell us why?
Yes. The house cleanup has been halted, and that came by a legal request from the court.
Christina Corbin.
So that tells me that they think they have something there that they wanted to get.
Yep. Either that or the defense is trying to make a defense for him in something. I don't know. There's two different sides you can go off of this.
I mean, let's think. If you cancel, if you want, there's a murder scene for one.
Right.
The cops has been there for 47 days. FBI's been there. Special agents have been there. Moscow, Idaho police has been there. Police have been sitting outside, guarding this house day in and day out.
Yep.
There was 4 murders in this house.
Mm-hmm.
So why would they stop the cleaning, or why would they want it to be cleaned? Only way they'd want it to be cleaned is if they actually 100% got the person.
Yeah.
Or they thought it was going to be a cold case.
Well, there's still biohazards in the house. Like all the blood's still in there.
Right. Correct.
So my guess is like they could still pull up those floorboards and get down deep in there if they still need evidence.
Yeah. I mean, it's a wood floor, so yeah. Anyways, guys, Natasha goes on to say, let's see what Baby Girl says real quick. Court stopped the cleaning. Baby Girl says he doesn't have any attorney in Idaho yet. Okay. So weird. The court canceled cleaning. It's because they have missed something. Yeah. I wonder if they actually found the guy. So they wanted to stop it, and because of tie more stuff to actually maybe come across. You know how FBI agents go in, they jot down stuff. They jot down everything they do. That way, whenever they come across something, they put that together and it becomes a story for them. That's basically what they basically do. That's their job. I wonder if something like that didn't happen, guys, where they jotted down something and then they found this guy, and this guy was tied into something they know he was tied into. So it tied him back to the murder. So they want to stop and not clean it because they have evidence that it was him.
Right.
Like so yeah, and guys, this again is just speculation.
Speculation. Yep.
So the tribe checked their evidence that they're They triple checked their evidence. Yes, baby girl, 100%. Who would rent that home? My neighbor committed suicide above me, and I found him. I moved the next day. 100%, Aylin, 100%. Yeah, it's crazy, guys. Anyways, guys, let's jump right back to the video.
Corbin, Fox News. Chief, have you identified a motive?
That is part of the investigation, and that will come out as we continue the investigation. But what we still ask is for people to continually send us things in the tip line. We are still looking for more information. We're still trying to build that picture, just like we have stated all along. We're putting all the pieces together, and that will help.
Chief, Veronica Miracle with CNN. Any indication that the suspect knew the victims?
That's part of the investigation as well. It won't be something that will come out at this point in time, but as we continue the investigation and as this case goes to trial, that will be brought forth.
Have you spoken to the families? Can you tell us what they've told you today?
Are you talking the victims' families? Yeah, we have reached out to the victims' family as we always do. We've done that daily, and we've continued to have contact with them.
Hey, Nate Sanford, you mentioned earlier that you're still seeking tips about Bryan and that people should still share whatever information they have. Can you speak at all about what specifically people should be reaching out for, like if they know something?
I would say anything and everything. As we've said all along, we know what tips we're looking for. We will take those tips and we will have professionals look at those and decide which pieces of those we need to use for our case. So we ask that everybody would do that.
Angela Palermo, Idaho Statesman. Your department and other investigators on the case took a lot of flack for keeping information close to your chest. Are you glad that you did that, and were you worried about tipping the suspect off?
I will 100% stand behind the way that we handled this investigation. And this all started from day one with our patrol officers arriving on scene, locking down the scene, us calling in the Idaho State Police, us calling in the FBI, and keeping information that was pertinent to this case very, very tight. We want to have a situation where when this goes to trial, there is no doubt that we've done everything right and we've slowed down and we've continued to slow down. We'll continue to do that.
Hey, Chief. Have you guys found the murder weapon or the Hyundai Elantra?
So we are still looking for all pieces of evidence, but we are still looking for the weapon. And I will say that we have found an Elantra.
Stephanie Becker with CNN. Can you tell what it was like when you got the phone call when the police told you that they had your suspect?
I can tell you for a lot of law enforcement, it was a fairly sleepless couple of days with as we were leading up to everything that we were doing. But what I can tell you is I have faith in those agencies across the nation. I have faith in our officers. I have faith in the FBI, and they did a great job. But sure, there was some times even throughout the day that we were always concerned.
Hi, Chief. Danya back at CBS News. Can you talk a little bit more about the suspect's connection to Pennsylvania?
All I know is that
no, Natasha, they do not have a weapon. He never said they actually have a weapon, which is crazy, guys. That's another crazy thing. They actually went and raided Bryan's house. So they said they come out with a whole bunch of stuff, guys. So I'm curious to see where this weapon's at too.
Yeah, they may have it. We don't know because we won't know anything until we get everything. But I'm gonna go on a limb and guess that. I mean, he was halfway across the country.
Yeah. Hello, Riley. How are you doing?
36 hours away. So
yeah, Ellen said sorry, got booted out. Okay. So yeah. I don't know why you got booted for. Maybe you're in there or something. Is that what you're saying, or do you think someone booted you as far as the mods go? Because I don't know if that would happen or not.
I don't think so. If she got back in here, then
yeah. So you're good. So yeah.
Too many times. I do that all the time.
I saw guys. Oh, internet. Excuse me. Oh, internet. Okay. Okay. Good. Good. Yes. So baby girl says, I haven't said anything about the weapon yet. They haven't said anything about the weapon yet. No, they 100% have not said anything about the weapon yet. So that makes me wonder, guys, where's the weapon at? What did he do with it? Is this something that he actually, you remember about the video I did that I talked about the water usage of Idaho?
Yes.
How they actually could tell what water was used at each home at what time that actually showers was on and how much usage it actually was at that time of the shower. That's actually a thing that Idaho has. So they could put the whole thing about him taking a shower to rest, guys, with that whole theory of that.
I wonder if they have it where he lived.
I don't know whether they did or not. I don't know if that's something that is everywhere, but I know Idaho did have it. And that water usage plant was actually right by where they lived at too. So
right.
It's crazy, guys. Crazy. So yes, that's something they can go back and look at. And I wonder, they probably already have. You'd think they already have went back and looked at that. I don't see a killer taking a shower at the murder scene. I just don't. But do I think he had something on to keep him from not getting bloody and stuff? Of course, because it's too clean. He studied BTK, Bundy, and people like that. It's actually who he studied to. And he actually talked to BTK himself. So, yes, it's 100% crazy.
Definitely premeditated in some sort of way.
And his professor was actually talked to the BTK killer herself and wrote a book as well about the BTK killer.
I would not be surprised if there wasn't some sort of manifesto.
Yeah. It's crazy. 100% crazy, guys. Yeah, guy. What did he say? Hello, PD Mash. How are you? How are you? I just saw the channel. Thank you, PD Mash. Welcome.
Welcome.
So yes, Riley is saying, yeah, guy, that bubblegum and Secret 7. Okie dokie. Well, there we go. All right. Well, let's get right back to the video. Baby girl, he didn't have time to take a shower. So I don't believe he took a shower there, guys. There was 2 other survivors down in the basement, the first floor of this house. Why would he take a shower for? But somehow he did get out clean.
Right.
It's wood floors, guys. You killed 4 people with a knife. You're telling me you're not going to slip on these wood floors of blood? He had something on to actually help him keep himself clean. And they think it was a hazmat suit, guys. And now that's just speculations, but that actually was said by news stations, guys. And if you haven't seen the video, go to my channel and check out the video. I just released it just earlier. So yeah. Riley says, howdy, Red Revelation. How are you doing, bro? We appreciate you. Nate says, you can tell if you look at his mugshot, you can tell something is off. 100%. If you look at killers, serial killers, mass murderers, which Bryan is a mass murderer. He killed 4 people. I do believe if he would have killed 1 more, I do believe that's a serial killer. So it just depends on what they want to put him up against here. Serial killer, mass murderer. It doesn't matter. You're a killer. You don't need to see the light of day. It doesn't matter how you killed somebody. You don't need to see the light of day, because in my opinion, people deserve second chances. But there's some people where you just know not to let them out of prison. Just throw away the key. That's just my opinion. And I can be a harsh person like that. So, but in my opinion. So, but anyways,
against women.
What now?
I feel like he had something against women.
Yeah, and a lot of killers do, guys. It's just crazy. And I actually went on to talk about this knife, guys. Him having his masters, he knew what that knife was actually used for. As a killer, as a knife, each thrust means something.
Mm-hmm.
It's a sexual tool for a killer that uses a knife. I've talked to professors myself, and that's actually what they have said. So yeah, 100% crazy, guys. Anyways, let's go on with the video.
That he lives in Pennsylvania.
Chief Guy Tannenbaum from Nonstop Local KHQ in Spokane. More about the Elantra. We saw reports that you mentioned that you recovered an Elantra, but can you specify where that was found? And we know that that was one of the biggest pieces of information you were asking from the public to tip. Were you able to provide an information on whether those tips led to this seizure of an Elantra?
That's still part of the investigation that will come out in the future.
Oh, hold on. What do you say? This was a key part here, guys. Let's go back and listen to this real quick.
Chief Guy Tannenbaum from Nonstop Local KHQ in Spokane. More about the Elantra. We saw reports that you mentioned that you recovered an Elantra, but can you specify where that was found? And we know that that was one of the biggest pieces of information you were asking from the public to tip. Were you able to provide an information on whether those tips led to this seizure of an Elantra?
That's still part of the investigation that will come out in the future.
So I'm going to speak on that.
Chief Glenn Mosley, Idaho Public Radio here in Moscow. The additional police presence in town and on campus, semester's coming. Is that going to continue?
You will continue to see state troopers in the area. You know, we're talking to Latah County as well. You will see a presence of us that we're always have up on campus. We have assigned officers to that. So you will continue to see a law enforcement presence. I'm going to take two more questions.
Hi, Chief. Julie Scott, ABC News. Can you tell us if you eventually had a license plate number to the Elantra and how you tracked it to Pullman?
That's still part of the investigation that will come out.
Chief, hi, Matt Lovelace with the Murrow College of Communication. I want to ask about Mr. Kohberger as a graduate student at WSU. Are you aware of if he returned to campus after November 13th? And have you had any communication with departments on the WSU campus about his attendance?
So some of that is going to be followed up as we continue our investigation. We'll be asking some of those questions, but that'll come out in the near future. So what I do want to do is I want to thank you all. You really have been the national voice for us. You've given us the opportunity to get many, many tips. And I do appreciate everything you've done, and we'll continue to look forward to working with you in the future on this. So I'd like to thank you for that, and thank you for your time.
Wow. Okay, guys. I want to say, Wicked Blood Metal Queen, how are you, girl? Heather B, how are you guys? Everybody in the chat, if you guys are new, thank you and welcome, guys. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, guys. It actually helps. Hit that like button. It helps us get in an algorithm, and it helps YouTube actually like us. I actually just use something that another Dolly Vision uses. So yeah, the same thing. So yeah, sorry, Dolly, if you're watching. Anyways, he doesn't care. Anyways, Heather B says, hello, everybody. I actually tried to call his show today again and talk to him about this whole situation. And I got a TV removal thing.
What?
Yeah. It actually said something about TV removal.
Oh, that's weird.
It was really weird. So I just quit doing it. I kept looking at the video or looking at the phone number, looking at it, and I was like, this is the right number. So Wicked Blood Metal Queen says, I'm still hungover. I hear you. I don't drink, guys. So yes, popping vodka last night. Sweet. I hope he was safe. Welcome. Yes. So we just heard that, guys. So they're not going to say anything else till he goes back to Idaho.
I already knew that was going to happen.
Not going to say anything.
Have you watched Olivia's new videos?
I have not.
You should probably go watch those.
I have not. I need to go watch those because I like Chronicles of Olivia. She's actually one of my favorites. So yeah, let me put a cough drop in, guys. I'm still kind of sick. So,
yeah, I can tell.
Anyways, no, I have not. But I do believe that Chronicles of Olivia actually handles everything very professionally, in my opinion.
Yes.
All right, Natasha. So yeah. All right, let's go look for another video, guys. Let's move on with another video. Guys, I love these videos. Let's see what else. See what anybody's saying something any different, guys. And yes, I will not be able to monetize this video more than likely, but I really don't care, guys. That's not what we're about here. Let's go on down. 3 days ago, 2 days ago, here's what we know about the suspect arrest in Idaho killings. 2 days ago, 2 days. Try and look for some newer ones here. 2 days. Live press conference. Students murdered, police arrested, Pennsylvania. His mom actually spoke out, guys. So let's go look at that. Idaho killings, mom.
Yeah, somebody said his parents are like the sweetest people. They don't understand like what happened.
Yeah. We can find that.
Like apparently he's had some rough shit.
So yeah, let's look at that. Let's say killers. Okay. Let's see what we got here. So yes, Bryan Kohberger arrests former friend and suspect Idaho killer speaks. How long is this one? Let's see how long this one is.
A suspect
2 minutes and 1 second. Let's go ahead and watch this one.
Okay.
in the 4 Idaho murders was arrested in our area. Newswatch 16 spoke
Hello,
to
True
someone
Crime Faith.
today who says they knew him personally. That's our top story tonight on Newswatch 16 at 6. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Chelsea.
They did say that in a news article, and I did a video on this, True Crime Faith, that they actually do think he actually did talk to the BTK killer. So yes, because they actually interviewed the BTK killer's daughter, and she was saying how disgusting it was that he actually reached out to her father. So yeah. Anyways, let's get back to the video.
Chelsea Strube. We begin tonight in Monroe County with the arrest of Bryan Kohberger, a suspect in the murders of the 4 Idaho college students. Newswatch 16's Emily Kress spoke to one woman who says she knows Kohberger personally.
The arrest of 28-year-old Bryan Kohberger rocked the nation, charged in connection with the murders of 4 Idaho college students. For people like Casey Arntz, the news of the arrest hits close to home. Her mom calling to break the news.
Okay, so what did they say? Did they say charged?
Yeah.
The arrest hits close to home. Her mom calling to break the news.
And she said the person they arrested was Bryan Kohberger. And immediately I freaked out naturally. I went back inside work and I called about 8 of my friends because it was terrifying. It was a shock because there's literally 7 billion people in this world and I know him. I was friends with him. Like, that's terrifying.
Arntz lives in Virginia Beach, but grew up in the Poconos and attended Pleasant Valley High School. She tells us she became friends with Bryan Kohberger through her younger brother during their time in school.
We just hung out and talked, and that's what it was. It wasn't anything crazy, just a typical friendship.
Arntz says she hopes his arrest will shed more light on the case for the sake of the 4 victims and their families.
I didn't want to think about what even happened out there. I just want the families to have clarity. I want them to have some type of just answers to questions that they don't have. And I know that we won't get those answers, or they won't get those answers until they actually hear from him. And the police release that information. And it's just, I want them to have clarity and I want them to be able to have peace after all this is said and done.
Kohberger remains locked up here at the Monroe County Correctional Facility. Emily Kress, Newswatch.
Well, good. Hopefully he stays in there forever, guys. So yes, guys, I want you to read this one right here. As always, I went and hit the like button. House, open the cans of tuna in their pantry. They're processing. Invite the neighbors, stay cats in the house. Then leave. I went to hit the like button. House. So I said, go hit the like button. So that was a pretty good one. I like that one, Riley. 100%.
Yeah.
Anyways, guys. So crazy. 100% crazy. And it just continues. But we're really not going to know anything about this guy until we get him back to Idaho. Nothing more what they have to say legally anyways.
Yep.
So, yeah. 100% weird, guys. Let's go ahead and go. Let's go look and see if we could find this interview. Idaho Killer's mom speaks. See if we can find something here. It is on here. Why did Bryan Kohberger kill 4 University of Idaho's? What cops know so far? How long is this one? Let's see here. Extended interview. That was a. Let's go. And you know what? He wasn't even seen in any of these videos. That's what's so weird about it.
Right.
Idaho murderers here. Oh, that's their dad and mom. Okay. Let's go and watch this one.
Yeah, the suspected University of Idaho student killer himself was a graduate student at a different university nearby. We are told DNA evidence helped lead police to him after he allegedly drove from out west back home here to the Poconos. Police and the FBI at this hour conducting searches where he lived and inside his white car, a car believed connected to the murders. This is the man police say is behind the Idaho student murders, 28-year-old Bryan Christopher Kohberger. He was arrested at his family home outside Scranton, Pennsylvania. And a white Hyundai Elantra, like this one seen near the Idaho murder scene, was seized there. Idaho officials announcing the arrest and charges in just the last hour.
Charging the defendant, Mr. Kohberger, with 4 counts of first-degree murder, in addition to felony burglary, which involves entering the residence with the intent to commit the crime of murder.
Kohberger was a graduate student at Washington State University, a campus just miles across the Idaho border and that killing scene. He was studying criminal justice. Lone actor, the leading theory.
We have an individual in custody who committed these horrible crimes, and I do believe our community is safe, but we still need to be vigilant.
Police and FBI officials were seen searching his residence in Washington State. They are also going over that white vehicle, searching for additional DNA evidence to further their investigation. The arrest comes 7 weeks after the 4 students were killed as they slept in their off-campus house in Moscow, Idaho. Investigators today were back at the house trying to finish their work, which has been a crime scene all these weeks, but that work put on hold with news of today's arrest. Police not talking about motive today, although given how close the murder scene is to where Kohberger was attending classes, they want to know if he had a connection to one or more of the victims.
As this case goes to trial, that will be brought forth.
It was 3 a.m. in the Poconos. Police moved in and made the arrest. One friend who used to jog with Kohberger, stunned.
I would have never thought something like this would be accused of him.
The suspect was taken to the local courthouse where he was ordered held without bail. The mom of one of the victims saying the arrest is a huge relief amid ongoing grief. Idaho police today said they are seeking to get Kohberger back as soon as next week to appear in court there. For now, he remains behind bars in Pennsylvania with his next court hearing there.
Wow. Okay, so yeah, they're not going to say anything else until they get him back.
No, they want to compromise the case, and I do not blame them at this point.
Yeah. It's crazy. It's 100% crazy, guys. Let's go on to see if we find any new videos about this to share with you guys. Let's see here. Idaho Killers. Idaho Killers update. Idaho Killers knife. Let's see what they say about this. Idaho Killer 1 month ago. 1 month ago. 1 month ago. Large style knife. Idaho murders. Let's go ahead and pass that up. Let's go ahead. Idaho Killers found. So yes. Okay. So I do believe. Let's watch this one.
We're now learning more details about the suspected murderer of 4 University of Idaho students. Reports say the suspect is 28-year-old Bryan Christopher Kohberger, who was arrested Friday morning in Scranton, Pennsylvania. According to court documents, Kohberger is now waiting extradition and will likely be headed back to Idaho more than 1 month after the brutal slayings. For now, though, he's being held in the Monroe County Prison with a January 3rd court date on the docket. Investigators now believe Kohberger is responsible for the November 13th stabbings of 4 students. For months, the case went unsolved, with few leads and thousands of tips. Idaho investigators announced a press conference will be held at 1 p.m. Mountain Time. Law and Crime Network will live stream that press conference and bring you the latest details as we have them. Reporting for Law and Crime Network, I'm Sierra Gillespie.
Just look at this guy. I mean, this guy reminds you of one of those people that, I mean, this guy had a whole life in front of him, guys.
Do you watch You?
I don't.
He reminds me of Joe Goldberg from You.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I haven't. No, I never have. I may have to go actually see that. It's just, it's really weird because I just don't see this guy killing 4 people himself.
No.
And maybe I'm totally wrong, guys. I mean, I've been wrong before.
He also kind of reminds you of one of those like recluse, like somebody who was like picked on.
Yeah.
But he also looks like somebody who was one of those tall and nerdy picked on guys who just snapped one day.
And that's basically what it is, guys. He went on. He got a big head. Is what he got. And this actually came from a true crime, not a true crime channel, but a TV channel basically that they was talking about it. And he actually got a big head with everybody he was talking to, and he actually wanted to put it forth. Could he get away with murder? But why do you go and kill 4 people? I mean, you can say that he didn't know they was there, but he had to. He stalked them. Right. He had to have. You just don't go inside of a house and just don't know who's in there and just go in there and do what he did. It usually doesn't happen like that. These type of killers usually stalk people one way or another, whether it be by phone, social media, recordings, or whatever else. And they usually stalk them for a while. They find out their movements. They look at, rental homes as a property, find out the inside of it. That's what these type of killers do.
Now it's like, is he that's going to get them for this?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just so much.
It's crazy. It's a crazy case, guys, because there's so much stuff to this case that we have to wait on, as far as like the Idaho, him getting back to Idaho, and then they could charge him for the rest of what they have. But what do they have?
Right.
So
we don't know because they held it so tight to the vest. But I also understand why they did that too now.
Yeah. Yeah. I think they did it for a reason. I'm actually going to go ahead and paste the link into the comments. If anybody wants to come up and talk, they can. Yep. So yeah, it's a whole case of nothing but what ifs. What did he do? Did he do this? Did he do that? Where's the murder weapon? I mean, it's just like I said in my video. This case is kind of like our minds, Whatever your minds think, I guess you could put it to the test, because we have nothing to really go off of besides
pure
what the cops have said. I mean, the cops know that he is a killer, or they wouldn't have brought him in.
Yep, we know who he is.
Yeah, we know this is guy's a killer. In our opinions, this is just speculations, guys. So yes, but there's all kinds of stuff. Like I said, there's people saying that he's not the killer, he is the killer, he hasn't been charged. So yeah. It's just crazy.
He just can't physically be charged until he's back in Idaho. That's the only thing. They can't hand him that paperwork until he's back in Idaho.
Yeah. Hey, Sox, Strong Creek Squad, how's it going? Wicked Blood Metal clowning over there. So yeah, I mean, I won a conference out of Bryan. It's just a crazy. Another one of the crazy killings.
Yeah.
So yeah. 100% crazy. All right, guys, let's go ahead and let's go on to see what other videos they have of this guy. So Idaho. Let's see. This was a day ago. What next? Idaho murder investigation after suspect's arrest. It's going down. 3 days, cover party in Idaho students' home before slayings. Did you guys see this video right here? Yeah, let's go ahead and watch it.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. Is this your place?
Yeah.
Perfect. You know why we're here?
And I assume noise.
That's one of the University of Idaho murder victims, Kaylee Gonzalez, confronted by police about loud partying. It's the 5th body cam video unearthed by web sleuths, showing cops breaking up parties at the house where the brutal murders took place. The date on this video is Tuesday, August 16th, time 5:30 p.m. It's a week before the fall semester begins, and 3 months before the murders.
You go to school?
Yeah.
Okay. What year?
Senior.
Senior. Okay.
The officers threatened Kaylee and her roommates with a $300 ticket, but settle for just a telling off.
You're disturbing the peace.
Yeah.
Nothing against having parties, nothing against having people over who are overage to drink.
Mhm.
But again, once we start disturbing the neighbors, then we've got an issue.
Yeah.
For some reason, the young man with Kaylee is wearing zip ties on his wrist. The video also gives a detailed look at the rear of the house where the killer most likely entered. Look, there's a ladder lying nearby. And
did they just say he had zip ties on his wrist?
Yeah, there was a whole thing about how they had like parties with zip ties, and it was a whole thing if you go back and watch some of them.
Okay, let's go back.
Once we start disturbing the neighbors, then we've got an issue.
Yeah.
For some reason, the young man with Kaylee is wearing zip ties on his wrist. The video also gives a detailed look at the rear of the house where the killer most likely entered. Look, there's a ladder lying nearby, and there's a big speaker, the source of all that loud music. Joe Giacalone, a former commander of an NYPD cold case unit, watched the video.
It seems to be that many people have access to this location without even the residents knowing that they're there. If I was a detective on this case, I would be looking at the close circle of people surrounding these victims.
And Moscow Police Chief James Fry says a hazmat crew will begin cleaning up the crime scene tomorrow.
Part of the reason we're doing that is because of the biohazards, as well as chemicals that were used during the investigation.
Meanwhile, police say they are still searching for that elusive white Elantra, whose driver or passengers are believed to have critical information to share about the murders. University records show that there are 90 white Elantras registered to park on campus from 13 states.
Wow.
The owner of an Elantra somewhere may hold the key to the mystery.
And we knew he wasn't actually in that state, guys. I mean, we just knew he wasn't. He's not going to be in that state. Whoever did those murders is gone, and he was. He was, what, in Pennsylvania? Is that where they caught him at?
Yep, in Pocono.
Yeah. The case has been a crazy case. It actually has been a crazy case, guys. So, yeah, let's go on to see what other videos we actually find here.
And I'm not sure if it was true, but I heard the Elantra is actually his mom's car.
Yeah. Didn't he actually go back with his father driving? Is that who was driving that car?
I'm not 100% sure, but I think so.
Yeah. I think it was something crazy like that for sure. 3 hours ago. Let's watch this one.
Tonight, Bryan Kohberger's childhood friend Thomas speaking to ABC News, describing the Idaho murder suspect as mean in high school, saying Bryan was eager to be seen as dominant.
He would just put me in, he would grapple me and put me in headlocks and arm bars and stuff like that.
Kohberger's family releasing a statement which reads in part, "First and foremost, we care deeply for the 4 families who have lost their precious children. There are no words that can adequately express the sadness we feel. We have fully cooperated with law enforcement agencies in an attempt to seek the truth and promote his presumption of innocence." The small community in Moscow terrified for weeks after roommates Kaylee Gonzalez, Madison Mogan, Xana Kernodle, and her boyfriend Ethan Chapin were found stabbed to death in their off-campus home in mid-November. Kohberger's lawyer saying Bryan's father flew from his home in the Poconos to Washington State for a pre-planned cross-country road trip back home to Pennsylvania for Christmas in that white Hyundai Elantra.
Wow.
Driving cross country took them approximately 2.5 days. Mr. Kohberger indicated that Bryan was acting normal and not out of character on the drive back from Washington.
The car seized from the Kohberger's home after Bryan was arrested early Friday morning. The Monroe County Chief Public Defender saying Kohberger is eager to return to Idaho and be exonerated. Police in Moscow say they're confident they arrested the only person responsible for the murders. Still, they're searching for a murder weapon they describe as a fixed blade knife. The police chief saying the community has a name and a face, and now they're hoping more people will come forward with information.
We have a lot of work to do still. We still have a lot of pieces we have to put together. That's why we're still asking people, if you have known this individual, contact us.
And Chief Fry telling me that within an hour of releasing Kohberger's name, more than 400 tips poured in. Kohberger's lawyer also confirming to us that he remained there in Pullman, working towards his PhD until mid-December. He's now set to face a judge in Pennsylvania Tuesday and is hoping to be quickly extradited to Idaho after that. Kana Whitworth, ABC News, Philadelphia.
So how quick is quickly though? That's another thing I have to ask,
Well, if he waives his extradition, then it'll be quick. But if he
Right.
makes them extradite him, it's going to be a minute.
And I think he has waived it. I think that's what I heard too, guys. But then again, these are all speculations, guys. So Idaho college student killings and details suspect charged with murder. So yeah, let's go ahead and watch this one.
We continue to learn more about the man arrested for the murders of 4 University of Idaho students.
Hello,
Laura
Easy
Engel
A.
with Fox News joins us from
Thank you,
Monroe
Easy A.
County,
Welcome.
Pennsylvania, outside the jail where he is being held. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me. Yeah, it's a huge development, obviously, in the story that has lasted nearly 7 weeks with the hunt for the suspect. Excuse me. I just wanted to show you the front page of the New York Post as this headline finally has come out. Headline of an arrest that people have waited so long for. And the reason that you see Criminal Mind is because we have now learned that the suspect, 28-year-old Bryan Kohberger, was studying criminology. And what's really interesting in these last few hours is that former and current classmates of his, University of Washington, are coming forward and talking about what he was like recently in school, what he was like, former classmates talking about what he was like in high school. A lot of people said that he felt bullied. He was a bully. He was aggressive at times. He was socially awkward. But one of the most interesting things that a student told the New York Post that we're actually in an email exchange with right now is that after the murders, he went to his criminology class and took part in a discussion. He was in the room as students were talking about the Idaho murders and how odd it was and how come there was no evidence and what do we think is happening and are we in danger? And he sat there through that conversation, that group discussion, according to this student, and said that he was quiet, he was deadpan, and obviously are alarmed now knowing that the killer was sitting right among them. Now, one of the other things that has happened here in Monroe County, Pennsylvania, is that search for the white Elantra. That for so long we have been seeing a picture of the white Elantra where police in Idaho thought that there could be a connection. They wanted to talk to somebody. Lo and behold, when they made that arrest at 3 a.m. on Friday morning at his parents' house with the Pennsylvania State Police, they did find a white Elantra. Is it the same one? They can't confirm it, but they were looking for one. They found him, and there are reports that genetic genealogy is what led investigators to hone in on this suspect and how they were able to finally put everything together, track him down, and make the arrest. Now we wait for Tuesday. He will be here. We are being told by law enforcement that he's wearing a suicide prevention vest inside this jail here behind me, and he will have no visitors. He will stay here until Tuesday when he has an extradition hearing on Tuesday, whether or not he's going to go back to Idaho right away, if he's going to agree to do it, if he's going to fight it. That is the next thing that will be happening here.
Yeah, a lot of new developments here and a lot left to figure out, including a motive and, where the murder weapon is. So many questions here. What can you tell me about that facility right behind you where he is being held?
Well, this is a county facility. It's got about 400 inmates. It's both maximum and minimum security inmates that are in here. There is a workout yard around the back that we've been seeing some prisoners out there exercising yesterday and today. I have gone in to ask to see if I could see him, possibly have a chat. And when you go in and you go through the mags, you can see that the way visitation works is like you've probably seen on TV shows where they come out and they pick up the phone and there's a glass and then you pick up the phone. He's not taking visitors right now, but all we know is that he is in the suicide prevention vest. He's not taking visitors. He will be here, as far as we know, until Tuesday, unless something changes between now and that hearing.
And that's what I was going to ask you is what happens next? I know there's the hearing and he could be extradited over to Idaho. So many questions about the next step here.
Right. And, a lot of people still asking, what was the motive? Did he know these victims? Did he have any connection? A couple of the family members of the victims have come out publicly and said they've never heard this name before. They have never heard of Bryan Kohberger, and they don't know if there's any connection. It doesn't seem like there is at this point, but they just don't know. So what we're looking for is the information in that probable cause affidavit. that affidavit cannot be opened, meaning we can't find out what investigators said was the probable cause to arrest him until he is extradited back to Idaho. So until he goes back there, it is state law. There's nothing anybody can do about it. We're not going to learn anything about that affidavit until he is physically in the state of Idaho. But once that happens, the Moscow police chief told Fox News today with our investigative journalist, Christina Corbin, that once he gets back there, we could possibly be learning more. But they are, once again, still trying to keep that information close. They still have a lot more to go. And now that we have a face and a name, they are hoping that more people will come forward and tell them more about, now that we know who we think this is, what can you tell us about him? Were you friends with him? Did you see him at the apartment complex? When you were in class, did he have any wounds on his hands? Did you notice anything about him? So that's the kind of information. Now that the name and the face is out and the mugshot is out there, investigators want people to come forward. They want people to bring more information about anything at all. No information is too small in this case, as we saw with just that glimpse of the white Elantra, which ended up being a major break in the case.
All right, Laura Engel with Fox News. Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it.
Wow. Let's go and see if we can find the BTK killer daughter interview. Let's go look at that.
My phone is at 25%, so if I just die, I didn't just die.
Okay, all right. Here we go. 5 hours ago. Let's go ahead and watch
but
this.
I would still be watching.
Okay, let's go ahead and watch this.
Said of a killer living in a community.
Watch some of it. Let's go back.
We do want to get to senior national correspondent Bryan Enton live for us in Pennsylvania, where the suspect is being held. Bryan, you're here.
So this is actually the BTK killer's daughter. As we know, Bryan Kohberger actually supposedly talked to BTK killer himself before he committed the murders. They think that's the reason why he actually went on with the murders, because that's someone he looked up to. And then Bryan Kohberger actually put all that stuff online, guys, kind of like a trivia for murderers and felons to come talk to him, to give him insight on how it is to carry out a murder, or what they would do if they did carry out a murder, and all this other stuff. So yes, so the BTK killer, I'm actually going to make a video about tomorrow about how much resemblance the BTK killer and Bryan had in common, which is a lot. So yes, you could tell he got his side of killing from BTK style killings, except the BTK killer was a little bit more morbid. Well, let me put it like this. Both of them morbid and sick, but the BTK killer actually didn't care what age you are. He would still kill you and put a doll next to you to mark who he was. So yes.
You had no prejudices.
No, none at all, guys. The BTK killer was very evil, guys. Anyways, guys, let's go on the video.
Hearing there is an odd potential connection between Idaho murder suspect Bryan Kohberger and the BTK killer. You spoke exclusively with BTK's daughter today. What is she saying?
I did, and this is just a chilling connection, and we're going to get to that in just a second. First, though, I want to update you on something that we just discovered through the public defender here in Monroe County, Pennsylvania. He confirms that Bryan Kohberger's father traveled out to Idaho and then drove in the car with Bryan Kohberger back here to Pennsylvania in mid-December, that they were in the white Hyundai Elantra and that they drove back together here in mid-December, which is very, very interesting, because remember that basically the entire country has been looking for that white Hyundai Elantra, and now that we know that they were together in the car driving back here to Pennsylvania, where this whole thing ended. But back to that chilling connection, Bryan Kohberger's professor here in Pennsylvania, professor of criminology, actually wrote a book on the serial killer BTK and interviewed him extensively. They have an intimate relationship. They spoke on the phone and had in-person interviews many, many times. And she actually wrote his autobiography. And now BTK's daughter is speaking to us exclusively about this very, very strange connection. She is wondering whether Kohberger perhaps had a fascination with her father. She's also talking about what families go through in situations like this, when someone in the family is arrested for a brutal killing, like what happened with BTK or Kohberger. Take a listen to what she told us exclusively. One of the most disturbing aspects of Bryan Kohberger's past is what he was studying, criminology, and who he was studying under at DeSales University in Pennsylvania. Dr. Catherine Ramsland, a serial killer expert who had a close relationship with serial killer BTK, even writing his autobiography.
Guys, if you look at the BTK killer, he doesn't, no one looks like they're a killer. I mean, yeah, this guy looks like he's had a bad day, but he doesn't look like the killer that he carried himself as, and the crimes that he committed, killings he committed.
Right.
I mean, you're talking about a guy who stalked people inside their house with masks on and would come out and sit next to you on a bed and have you do things to yourself while the kids was actually in the same room. That's what kind of killer the BTK killer was. And if you guys want to know more, go ahead and go look at his stuff, guys. Go look at the pictures of him sitting next to a bed with mask on. It is spooky, but this is what the BTK killer actually did. And it didn't matter what age he was dying. That's just point blank, guys. There's no other I guess nice way to say it. It just did. He would torture you. He was a torturer as well.
Yeah.
The BTK killer was. He looks like he had a bad day. Yes, he did actually. Easy, awesome name. Yes, it is awesome name actually. Bless. He looks like he had a bad day. Boy Scouts leader. A good. I don't need nightmares. I hear you. I hear you.
He looks like a drugged out Ned Flanders from the
Yeah, he did. He did. I actually look, guys. I look up stuff like this, and I've read about. Bless Bumblebee, how are you doing? Hi, chat panel, Barebones. I've read about this guy, and it's disgusting. It is disgusting what this guy did, and you could actually, like I said, I'm actually going to compare Bryan Kohberger to the BTK. Just in characteristics of how he carried out, or how they think he carried out, as what we got now. And then later on, whenever it comes out that what he did, how he did it, we'll put it side by side, that video, and actually see if that's 100% what actually style it was, guys. So I think that would be interesting. Again, these are all speculations, guys, whatever said in this video. Hi, Blessed. I want to read her book, though. It's Confessions of a Killer. Not now. We know. Yes, a lot of people that actually does criminal justice classes has to read that book, stuff like that, and actually watch videos on killers, study killers. So yes, like I said, my wife has a degree in criminology and sociology. So yes, and my mom does, and my aunt does, and my cousin does. Everybody in my family does. So yeah. It's 100% a thing that when you're raised around this stuff, you just catch on 100% to some of this stuff, if that makes sense, guys. All right. So Heather B says, I might not have been his first time killing. I don't think it was. I've said that before in my videos, but there's more speculations, guys. So there you go. We all could have our own opinions, and we're all just speculations. I don't think it was his first kill. I think he killed before. I think he went in there knowing who he was going to kill. I don't think it was an accident that he killed 4 people. I don't think there was actually just one person. I believe there was 2 people. I believe the reason why the people survived downstairs is because the door was locked. And if you listen to the phone call that was made by the guy on my channel or other channels that he shows a reflection in the video that they think was actually Bryan Kohberger. Again, these are all speculations. He actually says that the reason why the people downstairs survived is because the doors was locked. That's what he says in that video. It's on my channel, guys. I think it was 2-3 days ago. I think it was a Diary of a Killer. I think is what I named it. I do believe. So go check that out. He actually does say on there, and it actually does show a reflection. And it 100% looks like Bryan Kohberger, or whatever, however you pronounce his name.
Kohberger, I think. I don't think it's real. I just keep putting it in there for some reason.
Yeah. So it's very weird, guys. So what? Let's see. Very good idea. Yeah, I think it is easy. I think it would be.
Yes, say to the ladies, lock your doors.
What now?
Lock your doors.
Yes, lock your doors. Lock your doors. So what does your family member think of this? So what do your Do we think he has an accomplice out there? Excuse me. I think he's not by himself. He didn't do this by himself. He just didn't. If he did do it by himself, then he's killed before.
Right.
And he did it very cleanly. There's no trace of anything. Almost 50 days cold.
Find when you bring up his DNA, since maybe it's never been in the system.
Yeah.
You may find other bodies on him.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. Who knows what they're going to find on that computer, guys? That's going to be the one that shows everything that he had. And the fingers they was pointing towards everybody. People's pointing fingers at everybody, making videos, pointing fingers, talking about how they think this person was the murderer. It got crazy.
Chronicles of Olivia interviewed the neighbor,
and
they said that he was always sweeping his apartment or vacuuming his apartment at like 2 a.m. Like 2 and 5 a.m.
Yeah. I mean,
so like, did he have like some kind of like mental issue, like to like where he couldn't like help but do things weird?
I mean, we're talking about somebody who actually may have actually practiced stuff inside of his home behind locking doors, without a body, this is somebody who studied stuff to get away from cops with no evidence, get away from FBI with no evidence.
Mm-hmm.
This guy studied a lot of things.
There was a lot of books in that apartment.
So, yeah. Very much so. Obsessed compulsive. Yes. Obsessed compulsive. And most killers are the type of killers that if they kill once, they're going to kill again. And the professors went on to say, well, the crime reporters went on to say that they think this guy would have killed not too long after they caught him again.
Mm-hmm.
So, yes. Anyways, guys, let's go ahead and jump back to the video.
Yep. Sorry.
Close relationship with serial killer BTK, even writing his autobiography.
What did you first think when you heard that Dr. Ramsland was teaching Bryan Kohberger?
Personally, my first reaction was just like my stomach churned, and I literally got ill, knowing that there was now a connection back to Ramsland, and she connects to my father. It was just a lot.
Carrie Rawson is serial killer Dennis Rader, aka BTK's daughter. BTK stands for Bind, Torture, Kill, and Rader is responsible for killing 10 people.
Do you think he may have had any sort of communication with your father?
Kohberger could definitely have had communication with my father. Well, obviously, we know he studied my father in criminology classes. He probably studied him heavier since he had Ramsland as a professor. But we need to find out if there's a deeper connection. It concerns me.
A deeper connection, like if Kohberger was corresponding with BTK in prison. He would have had access because of his professor, Dr. Ramsland, who's appeared in more than 200 crime documentaries and was even on News Nation in October discussing the Delphi case.
Help explain to me the mindset of a killer living in a community where they have carried out allegedly this heinous act.
Well, if it is the person, the suspect that they have under arrest right now, he was married, so he would have had to have secrets.
Dr. Ramsland is known for her TV appearances, but she's not talking now. When I asked her about Kohberger, she responded, "I cannot make media statements about him at this time." For Carrie Rawson, the nightmare in Idaho has now come full circle.
I want to figure out how to stop it. Like, it's hard to be the kid of this guy and live with this, and then see somebody else go do this and wonder, did your dad influence him? Did your dad talk to him? Like, was he studying my father outside of academics? I mean, am I ever going to get answers to that? I don't know.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find new.
That is crazy, guys. I mean, we have her coming forward and saying, look, this is crazy. I mean, people, they use him in criminology classes, the book, people study BTK killer. It's remarkable to me how we look at these killers as or some people may look at these killers as a role model.
Yeah.
And it's true. Or, you know, they're on it, they actually write an autobiography, or they go on and they become in a movie, not them themselves, but a look-alike, a double,
a copycat.
And then they become movie stars and they send fan mail, guys. I'm totally against that.
Yep.
Like, I don't think you're a murderer. You do not deserve to see the light of day. There is second chances, and it's not up to me whether you get out or not. So, guys, then again, I'm just stating my opinion, stating what I believe. So, yeah, I mean, Charles Manson, for instance, Charles Manson still got fan mail.
Yes, he did.
Crazy.
He sent people spiders of his hair.
Yeah. Yeah. And people looked up to him.
Yes.
It's crazy.
People
I mean, that's
still
the reason why.
have his memorabilia.
I mean, that's the reason why it goes on to say that the Bryan Kohberger about the Idaho butcher actually is what I've heard people calling him. Now, whether that's true or not, I actually seen it in the comments earlier, guys.
Makes me
So, yeah. Now, them are all just speculations, guys. We don't know for fact, but that's actually what someone did say is the Idaho butcher, which if he's named that is actually a pretty big name. In when it comes to killings, guys, nobody should have a name. They should all be called murderers, and they should all not see the light of day ever again, in my opinion. Just my opinion, guys.
Yep.
So yeah, crazy, guys. It is 100% crazy. And like I said, tomorrow I'm actually going to do a video. Actually, Ellen said YouTube creator called him that today. Okay, there you go. So YouTube creator actually called him that today. Justice says it's weird. Jeffrey Dahmer was creeped out by fan mail from what I heard. I haven't really read about Jeffrey Dahmer. So yeah, I haven't really read about him. I have read about the BTK killer. I have read about the Queen's killer. Is that another one? Was there a Queen's killer, something like that?
There was the Zodiac killer.
Yeah. So anyways,
yeah, there's a bunch of them.
Yeah, there's a bunch of them, guys. And they all, and it's weird because they all had backgrounds in criminology and sociology and backgrounds like that. Every one of them.
Yeah.
And look at the BTK killer. BTK killer. He got away for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Went on to kill 10 people.
Yep.
And he used his background in criminology and sociology in ways to get away with stuff.
You believe the Zodiac killer got away for a long time?
The Zodiac killer, yes. The Zodiac killer is another one too that I actually want to do a video on and do live panels on this stuff, guys. I know a lot of people just doing it on what's happening today, guys. I'm going to bring back some of that stuff and actually talk about some of this stuff that nobody else talks about is what I want to do on this channel, guys. As well as what actually needs to be talking about, guys.
Oh, yeah.
So, and like I said, tomorrow I'm actually going to, Justice says, Wicked Political says he was a handsome guy. Justice Roberts says, laugh out loud, way he got fan mail. He didn't want to respond to them. Okay. So yeah, tomorrow I'm actually going to go on and do a video, guys, of, how much alike the killing was of the Idaho students to what BTK killer actually would do. So yes, Ella says 5 guys before it was a restaurant. Dahmer was craving. Okay, let's move back. Zodiac freaked me out when my mother read his book on the 80s. Yes. Zodiac was a weird one, guys. And like I said, I'm going to bring back some of that stuff because I absolutely love this stuff. True crime, actually just, I love it, guys. So yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And like I said, tomorrow I'm actually going to do a video on how much alike these two killings was, guys. Because at one time they went on to say that they thought that the killer was actually inside the home of the 4 students in Moscow, Idaho. So
Like
yeah,
already inside when they got home, you mean?
yeah. They
Yeah,
they
I
did
don't
say
think-
that at first. Well, that's just speculations again. That wasn't confirmed by the news nor the police, but that was said, which would make him a lot like the BTK killer if that's the case.
Yeah. I don't know.
So yeah, it's crazy. Jack the Ripper interesting because they don't know who he is. Yes, Jack the Ripper was an interesting one, but there was a show done on TV, and they said they actually found out who he was. But this was just this. The show was just like a year ago. So yeah, that's a long time ago though. So yeah, so they may have actually finally found out who he was today. But yeah, Jack the Ripper would actually. Well, they didn't have all that stuff back then either. And come to find out, he was a doctor too, I do believe. So yeah, because he knew how to use his tools. So yes. Let's see here. I thought that first, but not sure now. Yeah, I don't know neither, guys.
Right.
I don't either. I mean, I'm just trying to figure out how he walked in this home already dressed up in a biohazard suit. If he did, speculations. If he did, but there's actually news channels who actually covered this. I actually did a video on this today. So go check that out if you guys haven't. Biohazard suit walks into this home and brutally murders 4 people with a knife. It just blows my mind.
If it was dark with a backsliding glass door, all he had to do was walk straight in.
Yeah. And that's what was said too, is the back doors was actually unlocked. So yeah. Plus, there was no blinds on this house, guys, of the 4 students that was brutally murdered. There was no blinds on their house. People could actually see in the windows from across the way and see what the girls are doing at all times and so forth and yada, yada, yada. I mean, just crazy. There was no cameras. There was absolutely nothing in this home.
I'm sorry, but one thing about me is every place I've ever lived, the first thing I do is put up blinds or curtains.
Yeah. If you don't have blinds or curtains, put up a excuse me, put up a blanket or something on the window.
Yeah.
Yes.
Something.
True Crime Faith, have a good night.
Good night.
So yeah. So it's just really weird, guys. Hopefully we find something soon. Tuesday he'll be in Idaho and we'll find out hopefully everything we need to find out. So yes. All right, I'm actually going to end this tonight, guys. I've been on here 2 hours, 20 minutes. I'm starting to actually get this cough back, guys. If I actually got another channel, guys, actually Upchurch Fan Podcast. I'm actually going to do some reactions on that tomorrow. I'm actually going to put all the Upchurch reactions over there. It is going to be a live podcast where actually people could talk about independent artists, Upchurch himself, yada, yada, yada. So Upchurch Fan Podcast, go subscribe to that, guys, because I am going to be starting that channel very soon. So Upchurch Fan Podcast.
All right.
All right, Scuba. I will have a video out tomorrow because I'm going to compare these two I'm going to compare these two. I'm going to compare the murders of the 4 Moscow, Idaho students to the BTK because it's very similar. So I'm not saying these are all speculations, guys. So yeah.
All speculations are welcome.
Very well. Very well. All right, Scooby, you have a good night.
You too. I'll see you later.
Yep.
All right. Bye.
See you. All right, guys. I'm actually going to get out of here. Good night, everyone. Good night, baby girl. Wicked Blood Metal, True Crime, Faith, yada, yada. If you guys haven't hit the like button, hit the like button. It actually helps us get an algorithm, guys. And if you guys have not actually subscribe to the channel, guys. It's highly appreciated, guys. But I'm actually going to get out of here, guys. So I will actually put a community post on my next live. This was actually off the top. I just wanted to talk about everything that's went on, guys. So anyways, I'm going to get out of here. Thank you, guys. Your boy Deuces is out. Thank you. Have a good one.